The biggest battle that we will ever have to face is the battle between you and you. It's the battle of taking your mind to that limit and then breaking through. On the Mindful Experiment podcast, we will be interviewing individuals who have done that, who have gone through the struggles, who have tried to create a reality in all that they could. And when all the odds were against them, they made the impossible possible. I'm your host, Dr. Vic Manzo, and I want to thank you for being on the podcast and taking this journey with me as we go through and discover different avenues to break through those limits, different avenues to help you expand your reality so that you can evolve into the person that you desire to be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, it's Dr. Vic here, and we are on the Mindful Experiment. You're listening to a special episode as we're going over summaries and concepts of my new book, Rediscover Your Greatness. It's a guide to creating an inspired and fulfilled life. I highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu.com, all online retailers. It's available on Nook. It's available on Kindle. It's also going to be soon to be available on audio at the end of July. And you can also check it out on iBooks. It's a great book. The feedback has been absolutely amazing. I love the transformation that it's creating for people. Some of them are my good, close friends and loved ones, and a lot of it has to do with also people I never met before. And it's amazing the work that they're enjoying with. So I highly recommend checking it out. We are talking final chapter of my book, Chapter 11, Creating an Inspired and Fulfilled Life. That is the title. I started off with two quotes by the famous and funny and amazing Jim Carrey. He says, "You are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world, and as you walk through those doors today, you will only have two choices, love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. It's better to fail at what you love than to fail at what you don't." Oh, so powerful. I love those quotes. I've heard these speeches that he's done with it, and it's something that really resonated with me. And it's like, always be playful, and don't let the fear hold you back. Enjoy life. Take risks, but enjoy it. Because the truth is, as I start off this chapter, is that the solid truth, the absolute truth is you already possess everything within. You already have everything there. Everything, all the resources, anything you need, it's all there. It already has, it always will be, and it'll never go away. You have all the resources to achieve your dreams, transform your life, change course, expand your life even more. You have it all, and it has always existed within you. As I've worked with clients on my online programs and different programs we offer at Empower Your Reality, we're not teaching you anything really new. That's the beauty of it all. I don't really teach a lot of new stuff. There are some new things we teach. But really what the goal is help you rediscover who you really are and how you already have it. This whole entire book, all the podcasts that we've done, the summaries on the book, is really designed to do just that. It's teaching you, sharing with you how to play in the game called life and create the best life you can ever imagine. Because the truth be told, if you can imagine it, it's possible. Imagination is one of the most powerful tools you have, and you have it within you. Actually, you used it a ton as a kid. And for some reason, logic mind takes over at a certain point in life, and we start to see that not happen as much, and we minimize our imagination. And that's what they say, as long as something is possible, the universe can figure out a way to create the experience you have chosen. If you can imagine it and picture it, done. It can happen. So as we wrap up all the podcasts we've done on the book, and I'm explaining in the chapter, when you want to create something in your life, you must first focus on it, because when you focus on something, it is then you are putting your source energy into things, and your source energy is what gives life to all things. And then you just have to keep focusing, but don't worry about how the universe will provide or in which way it will happen. Just keep your focus on what you desire, and make sure your words, the stories you tell yourself, the emotions you invite with the process, never go against your vision. For example, I stated earlier in Chapter 10, I said I want to write over 30 books in my life. I feel like I have so much to share, and even though it's just my perspective and experiences on things, I know there is someone out there that can benefit from it. But my mind will come in and try to give me doubt. Who hasn't had that?
I'd be like, I'm 34 years old, writing my first book, and if I want to write 30 in my career, I'd have to write like one book a year on average, and it'll be like at 64. That is a ton of writing, especially the work I want to do. But if I let go of all the stories, excuses, and the bullshit that will distract me from the vision and just say, I'm writing those 30 books regardless. Here's the vision. Here's what I want to create. How do I want to see that inspire people's lives? How am I going to help enrich people's lives with this information? How do I help them rediscover looking within to see the light that they already had and always been there, never been away? They just blocked it. And what's that going to do? And seeing the ripple effect and going down that path and keep looking at that vision and seeing consciousness and people being happier, more fulfilled, seeing that bright light, the childlike in them show as an adult, and see it happen and it continually expand and grow. And then every time when they touch CB around them, start to feel that vibration and start to understand that, wow, there's potential here. I can do the same thing. And then they start to look at that light and start to say, well, they start recognizing, saying, wait a minute, I have that within too. And they start to go the same process and start doing the journey. And then they raise their consciousness, happiness, and joy, and so forth. And this process is a contagious virus that is just spreading like crazy in a very happy way to help people raise their consciousness and fulfillment. Whew. That's the vision. There's more to it, but that's just the short Cliff Notes version of that. But you got to focus on it and don't let the bullshit get in the way. Yeah, I'm swearing with this, and some people don't like when I swear. It's BS. It's crap. It's the stories. It's the excuses. It's the lies. It's the whatever you want to call it. It's just a label, guys. And so, but one of the things I share, and I've seen this happen in my life multiple times, and I've heard it happen in multiple other people's lives too. But more importantly, don't let the people who are closest to you hold you back from your dreams, because most of the time it's going to be them. Unfortunately, the way the world works, the people closest to you will usually hold your dreams back. They'll say things like, that can't work. Look at the economy. There's no jobs. There's endless stories. That's okay. That's crazy. That's wish-wash thinking. No one's going to like it. No one's ever going to whatever. I've heard them. I didn't hear them all, but I've heard them. And talking with friends and other people who have been successful, who made barriers and breakthroughs in their lives, broke barriers in their lives, they shared the same stories. Some of their friends doubted them. They don't do it on purpose. They have no ill intent to do it. At least most people don't. It's just their limited beliefs and fears that they have within, and they're projecting them upon you. So I share a little bit about the Lobster Effect and how that works. Basically what that is, it's a lobster crab type of effect. And if there's 3 lobsters left in a tank, and one of the lobsters is like, I don't like this life. I want to get out of here and try something new. Starts climbing up on the wall and really starts to try to get out. The other 2 lobsters will freak out, go and grab it and try to pull it back in. Why does it happen? I have no idea, but it happens. And it's one of those things that happens. And when you have your closest people closest to you, that's what they're doing. It's not intentional. It's not ill intent, at least. Most of the time it's not. And it's just that's where they're at. But you have to put enough energy into the concept and not allow things to get in the way. Because if you allow any story, excuse, or even fear get in the way, it's a dream killer. It's an instant dream killer. Okay? Fear is primarily a mental construct created by your mind to keep you out of danger. Fear is not something that exists. There are some real fears in life, but majority of them are made up. For example, I have a deathly fear of sharks or open water. Now, if you put me in a big lake, different story. But if you put me on the ocean, I will freak out. Why? I don't have no clue. But what I have learned is when I face my fears and when it's over, I'm usually like, why did I waste so much energy on the fear and keep it alive? Because there's nothing on the other side. I heard that from Jamie Foxx on the Tim Ferriss show, and he was talking, and he said what he teaches his kids is that on the other side of fear is nothing. Which really is true. It's made up. There's nothing there. You find out it's actually a big lie. And so one of the things, I talk about, share a couple of stories how I shared my own fear, and I found out how it was cool to do. But one of the key things in life is to figure out a way to allow your light to shine, and I personally believe it is drowning the noise around you and just focusing on you. You have to limit your distractions. You have to limit the things that pull you away, and that's people, friends, family, whoever you have to rid out of your life. And if God love them, I did it in my own life. I come from an Italian family, massive family. There are a lot of people I had to let go. Nothing against them. I love them dearly for who they are and the journey they're on. But for me, I needed to pull away so that I can focus on energy to keep me creating and doing what it is that I want to do for the world and for my mission. Because at the end of the day, it's you and you. You came into this world alone. You're leaving this world alone. So it's one of those things. One of my spiritual teachers told me, if you can shift one person, shift their life and help them realize the power they have within, you have made a massive difference in the world. You've created a ripple effect, and all it takes is one person to shine their light, and it'll help others illuminate their own. Now, if you read the book, you learned this. If you listen to the podcast, you kind of got some concept on this. The key of everything I shared with you wasn't only to help you understand the laws of life, but also how to truly emanate your light upon this world. How can you make this world brighter? The more you live by your demands, your wishes, your dreams, the more you illuminate this world, because it allows you to shine your light bright. That is the biggest concept of my book, and the biggest concept of creating my podcast, the biggest concept of everything that I do when it comes to the mindset side of things and empower your reality, truly is to truly help you see the greater big sign of all things. Throughout each chapter, I hope it created dialogue with you. I hope it had you ask yourself questions and help create awareness. I also hope it helped you see stories of what I've went through, and may you have gone through them also, or similar stories, and help you see that we're not all alone. You see, the cool thing about being human is we all have the same emotions. We all do. We all experience them. Not one person does not experience a human emotion. We all do, the positives and the negatives. The way they're expressed is a little different, but we all experience them. Just like love. Love exists. It's all around and encompassing us. But how we express love is different for each individual. You could take that same concept and think of language. There are so many ways that we communicate via language. But language is always there. The communication systems are there. It's just how we express that communication. As I've shared in the book, last chapter, I talk a lot about going around and speaking and all the things that I've done. I truly believe there's two things that people really desire as humans, and that is being happy and healthy. Because really, when you're healthy, that opens the door for you to experience all the greatness of what life has to offer. And when you're healthy, you become more happy or happier, because now all of a sudden you are able to do more, experience more, and have more, and you're living to your fulfillment. You're beating your own drum. You're playing. You're dancing to the own tune of your own music. You know, I wasn't blessed or taught this from parents about how to live for myself and my dreams, make choices for myself. I was taught to grow up that you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and you don't want to offend or disrespect anyone. The happiness of another is worth more value than my own happiness. That's what it really meant. So I wasn't taught the things that I'm sharing in the book. I had to learn these. I had to challenge these things. And growing up, when I wanted to do what I wanted to do, I would be reprimanded for doing the things that I didn't follow. I was a stubborn kid, but I loved dancing in life to the beat of my own drum. And eventually, over time, I started to learn this lesson. It's not easy to stand up for what I desired, especially when you're not taught it. To focus and declare what I like to do that makes me happy. And my relationship with my wife has been great with this. She will ask me, what do you want to do to be happy? And I'll ask her, what do you want to do? And she'll throw it back at me before she answers. Because she's like, I asked you first about what you want to do and makes you happy. You are not the only person that will defend and create the life that you desire. No one can do it for you. It is you and only you. You are the creator of your dreams and the destroyer of them. It is all about what you feed, and what you give into that will make the difference of your reality. You know, I talk about focus a lot, and if you haven't checked that out in the podcast, check out chapter 2, and I dive into the focus. But one of the things is, in the book, you hear me say many things about you to stay focused and be committed to something. It can be meditation, breathwork, cryotherapy, aromatherapy, herbs, supplements, working out, food, chiropractic, acupuncture, qigong, tai chi, journaling, writing, gratitude, prayer, etc. I can go on and on about what people state is what helps them stay calm and focus on the prize. The thing I want to share with you is find what works for you. Okay? Find what works for you. That's why I always tell people, it's your individual experience. Don't allow others to tell you what works. Instead, learn from someone and then develop your own blueprint that helps you stay centered, calm, balanced, and focused. When I first started chiropractic school, guys, I remember the professors telling us that we'd have to spend 3 hours a day studying in order to obtain all the information we were learning and do well on the exams. 3 hours a day per course. We took 10 courses, 10, 12 courses. Sounds like 36 hours a day. Well, how the heck are you going to study 36 hours a day? But in the beginning, I did what everyone else did. I studied as much as people were. I focused on what they were doing. We would be studying from 4 to 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. First semester, it was just one of the things we were doing at night. I did well for the most part. I got all the A's and 1B. I was proud of it. But at the same token, I couldn't see myself continue this for another 8 more trimesters. I just couldn't see myself doing this for another 3 years. So instead, the second trimester came around, and I started to change the way I studied because I was just like, I'm burnt. I don't like the way I feel. People kept doing it. I didn't want to anymore. People were competing for grades. I didn't want to do that. I was like, I don't care about getting A's. I care more about just retaining the information I need to learn, to grow, and I'm going to continue to learn other things too because I don't believe this is the only way. What ended up happening is I started seeing the big picture of all the stuff we were learning. And it shortened my time. I started to focus more and center myself more so I can be more productive with my time. And what ended up happening is I would only study a couple hours for an exam. I didn't need to spend a couple days, 3-4 days. I just needed a couple hours, 1 to 2, and I was done. And I started to do this. I started to realize how my grades dipped a bit. I didn't have all the A's anymore. I had some A's and some B's and even some C's sometimes. But retaining the information, I was able to handle it longer because we had to take national boards and all this other stuff, all the things we learned. And for me, understanding the big picture, I didn't forget much of that stuff. So it was a lot easier to retain. But if I never jumped outside the norm and attempted to discover what works for me, I don't know how my experience would have been in chiropractic school. I don't know if I would be as great as I was coming out because I knew so much from just seminars and applying things and talking to chiropractors and really learning, getting mentors and having guidance from them. Because for me, studying and sitting for 8 to 12 hours a day was just not going to work. So my question to you is, what are the things you are doing because everyone else is doing that in a particular way? Or are you going along life based on what you were taught as the way of life? Have you developed your own path? Are you living your life at the way you desire to live? These are really profound questions. I really wanted you to take time to focus on that. Because the thing about life is no one really knows anything to be 100% truth or be 100% right. Not one single soul. And many of you may say Jesus or Buddha or Krishna knew everything. The truth is these avatars that walked our planet, they knew the connection to the source. They knew how the world is and how everything flowed. They knew that we are God and God is us. They were the mirror of who we really are and what our potential is. Jesus himself said, "You will do great works beyond what I have done." I am paraphrasing the scripture, but the key thing is Jesus' disciples did carry on what Jesus stated, but when he said we would do greater work than him, he meant all of us, guys. Okay? Because outside this bubble that we call life, that we live, called the human body, within that bubble truly is the same stuff. We all have the heart, a lung, a liver, a brain. We all experience the same exact emotions: anger, frustration, happiness, joy, bliss, peace, serenity, etc. The only difference we have when it comes to emotions is how we express them, as I stated earlier. Some people, they get angry, they shut down. Some people get very verbal. Some people get physical. All different acts. None are right, nor are they wrong. They are just the way the person expresses their nature. There is always a better way, and I'm a big component of learning better ways to manage, handle, and understand the emotions I face, and I believe everyone else is too. But the beautiful thing is when I say the universe is working for you, not against you, to be honest, I have no clue for that to be true. Right? Now you may go, what the heck? I have no concrete evidence. But based on meditations, research, and so forth, I believe that everything happens in your life for a reason. That I can state instinctively. And that reason is designed to help you expand and evolve. It is the one thing I know for certain. This life is designed by you, for your highest good, to expand and evolve. That is a fact. I know that for a fact. But at the end of the day, the only truth is the one you set the stage for. That's the beautiful thing. You can believe that the universe is against you. And guess what you'll experience? The universe being against you. But if you believe the universe is working for you, what I do know is the universe will work for you. Because at the end of the day, you're the dictator of your life. Because the only truth is the one that you believe to be true. Because when this life is all over, you will discover your own universe. You will discover you create your own laws within your universe. You have your own experiences and much more. You are a universe who is everlasting, expanding, and evolving into whatever you desire. For it has and always will be up to you. God gave us that blessing of life and allows us to go out and experience life in all its forms. That is all was asked upon us. The rest is up to us. That's it. Years ago, I was reading a book that shifted my entire life. I highly recommend getting it in my experience. And it was called Wallace Wattles' book called The Science of Getting Rich. He made a statement in there that said, why would God want to experience less than what is optimal? Why would God want to minimize your experiences of life? Don't you think God wants you to experience all that this life has to offer? You cannot experience all the things in this life, human life, has to offer, as we discussed earlier. It may take many lifetimes, thousands actually, to grasp the human experience of what you want. But I mean, think about it. How many facets are there to being human? Adding culture, eras, villages, civilization, human collective consciousness at the time, and much more. This human being experience is endless within itself. So when I grasp the book from overall is that the order to fulfill my life is helping God fulfill itself. If I experience all there is to my experience in this life, God will experience all that can be experienced through me in this life. And since the book was all about money, it talked about how God would want you to be rich. It doesn't want you to be poor. When you have money, it creates more opportunities to experience this life. Notice, he didn't say happiness. He said create opportunities for living your life. That really is what money is all about. It's creating opportunities, and research even shows that after a specific point of how much money you make, it doesn't change much after that point. So throughout this book, on all that you have learned and will apply in your life, how can you create more opportunities in your life that will ultimately allow for God's experience through you? Right? So you're in a co-creation with God, always and will be. And the cool thing is, you get to able to create lives, go out and live your own, create your own path, and in the end, God gets to experience that lifetime and experience it more of itself. Pretty cool, right? I think so, at least. So look at your life. See where you want to create more fulfillment and inspiration. This whole entire book, this entire book, these podcast summaries that I've done for the book, it's all about to be a guide. It's not something to do A, B, C, D, etc. It's not telling you what to think. It's just telling you how to think. It's telling you how to look at things and understand that there's laws that help govern. And it's up to you to play with them and learn from them. Experience them, because they always exist. And they're always there no matter what. And over the last 10 years, guys, I've tested a lot of these laws and all these principles that I've shared. And I can tell you to be true. I've read many books, studied many individuals, taken many courses, workshops, and listened to many podcasts to understand the depths of what I've shared. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours. I wanted to know it and feel it. I wanted to come to realization of knowing and feeling within that I am the creator, the writer, the author, the producer, the actor, the screenwriter, everything of all things that within my life. And whenever I wanted to make a change, I can do so within a second and then just focus on that change and see it materialize in my life. That's it. I wanted to know that I was a creator, and I wanted to fully know within myself. And remember, when you visualize, don't worry about how it will happen or the steps will make it to happen. The key thing is to make sure you stick on your focus and be vision and know the rest of it gets taken care of for you. Always know that the universe is working for you, never against you. One of the things you never want to do is do the things that will create acceptance for others. If you do, you will be invisible to all the people and to all the world. Don't people please. Be you. You're going to rub people the wrong way. That's fine. You're going to piss some people off. That's fine. The goal is not I don't want to piss people off, but I also have to live my dream and my purpose and fulfill. I want to see it to its fruition. Two things. I live by two rules in my life. Two rules that govern everything I do. There's the two things that I do not stand for. One of them, never suppress anyone. Second, don't kill anyone. I think these two things are the same thing. One actually holds someone down in a way that puts a death to their voice, while the other ends the person's life. Those are things that I live by because I never want to suppress someone. I always want them to express who they are, not limit them, and let them be their fullest potential. Let them experience life. My job is not to govern, control, or anything in anyone. My job is just to govern and control me, and me only. And obviously killing, not a good thing. Don't end anyone's life. That's a kind of intuitive thing, but I mean in all life, in general. Plants, animals, insects, the whole nine yards. They're a living soul. They're having an experience too. Who are we to choose to end their experience? But one of the things I want to tell you, though, as I end this chapter and end this whole series, is that never let anyone suppress or interfere with your dreams. Never let anyone. Never let anyone interfere with your voice, your will, or your desire. Let your light shine bright. Let yourself shine bright. Once you start to do this work, you will start to realize the beauty of who you are, and then we'll see the amazing beauty around you. You become childlike again. You start using your imagination. You start dreaming more. You want to fulfill more. You want to create things now. The more you appreciate yourself, the more you appreciate others and the world you experience. As Jim Carrey says, I am very serious about no alcohol and no drugs. Life is too beautiful. In our life today, we're using these things, drugs, alcohol, and all this other stuff, to numb us from the experience of life, to pull us away from the beauty of what life has to offer. The more I truly believe, and this is, I was reading that the number one consumption in the world, or at least America or the world, for beverage is beer. Now, I'm not against alcohol. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not against it. But what I can tell you is these things that we do, like using these stuff, it numbs us. And it only does more harm than good. Because life is truly a beautiful process, guys. But as you have to discover, no matter what you face in life, it's all about your perspective, what you focus on. That will truly determine if life is absolutely amazing or the total opposite. You have the power to experience whatever it is you desire. Just stay committed to it. And have the faith and know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Inside, you're certain, you know. It's a knowing. And like I say, I use the word faith, and what I mean by that is it's a deep knowing within that has already been done. Okay? It's just like choosing a station you want to listen to, choosing a movie off Netflix you want to choose. You know it happened. You click the button, boom, you know it's going to happen. As I end the book, I'll read the last paragraph. It says, I want to thank you for reading the book. I hope it enlightens your life as much as the stories, wisdom, experiences, and knowledge have enlightened mine. We are all in this game called life together. The more we share with others, the more we live towards the calling of our own heart, the more enriched the life we experience and allow for others to do the same. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you just jumped into the podcast, please check out the other podcasts that we have on the book and all the other podcasts that we have. It really is to share concepts and ideas to how to help you to create and understand, rediscover your greatness, experience your infinite potential, and to really live a more fulfilled and inspired life. So I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to the last episode of the special edition of my book. Nice little summary on things. And as always, remember, you are the one in control of your life. You have the power. You have the essence. No one else can interfere with you. It's the battle between you and you. It's the battle that you have to look at yourself, realize where are my strengths, where are my weaknesses, how can I grow, and how can I evolve. And always remember, life is all about the contrast. There's always good and bad. There's always a pain and a suffering and joy. There's always the opposites of each other. They will be here. They will always be here to the end of time. The thing is, the faster you embrace it and enjoy it and go through the process and see it as a dance, the more you'll be more fulfilled in life, happier, and the less you'll experience the lower vibrational emotions. And when you start to see that dance, you start to become more of a powerful manifester, more of utilizing the law of attraction to achieve your dreams. But one thing I always tell people, never let go of your imagination. Keep your imagination strong. Keep imagining, because when you can imagine something, it's possible to be created. And the universe knows how to put that formula together. So thank you guys for checking this episode out. If you haven't got my book, check it out on Amazon, Nook, iBooks, Barnes & Noble, Lulu, all online retailers. Coming out with the audiobook end of July. Check that out. Check out our empoweryourreality.com as we're going to be launching a free week where you can come listen to me. I'm sharing a video every day, and it's just to empower you to help disconnect, to reconnect to yourself. So check that stuff out at empoweryourreality.com. Thanks for tuning in. Send us a review. Give us a 5-star if you can. And let us know what you think about the podcast. And if you bought the book and you read it already, can you please share a review on Amazon, iBooks, or Nook? It's greatly appreciated. Thank you again for tuning in, guys. Till next time, keep rocking.
Thank you for listening to the Mindful Experiment podcast. For past shows, please visit www.empoweryourreality.com. I hope this show inspired you and added to your life to help you rediscover who you really are, to break through those limits. For connecting with us on social media, please check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/empoweryourreality. You can check us out on Twitter. Our handle is Dr. Vic21. And also check us out on Instagram. It's instagram.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. And as always, if this show you found to be helpful for you, by paying it forward and sharing this podcast with someone that you know who could benefit from it. And last but not least, if you liked the podcast show, please give us a review, 5-star. We'd appreciate that. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Experiment, helping you discover your infinite potential.